meaningful. He contacted us about being a sponsor to support the Supportive Housing Association, which is very meaningful. It doesn't happen that often that people are so proactive in reaching out to us. And he has a terrific business that I'm sure you'll hear about. But I went immediately to his website, and at the bottom of his website there was a link to his blog. And I said, wow, this is someone that I can learn from, and I'd love to meet him and hear from him. And that is the origination story of how we worked out our sponsorship. So.
Thank you, Ms. Edwin.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm going to have the opportunity to hear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, ATL. Thank you, GSHA, for allowing me to come and speak to you. So I am a mover, and I always have to repeat that when we network. So, but yes, I can move mountains within your heart, but I also can move your furniture anywhere you want to go. And so a little bit of history about me and how I wound up not only the way I am physically, but also where I am spiritually and financially in order to be able to sit up here and talk to you. It's crazy. I just realized the other day when I was doing my rehearsal for this, I've been doing what I've been doing for 25 years. I've been moving people for 25 years. And it's amazing because it all started with just an idea. And then when I started talking about it in high school, they're all like, people were just, they didn't know how to accept it because it's not something you just jump into. But my mom married the largest antique dealer ever. And they thought it was cool to throw me on a loading dock for $6 an hour. But what they didn't realize is I figured out how to run the whole dock real quick in order to make way more than $6 an hour. And then everybody started asking me who does the deliveries. So I wound up saying I do so much, that's what I named the business. I do moving and storage. So it started when I was 15 and I couldn't even drive. So I had to hire people to drive for me, and I would obviously go and ride along with them to unload. That little bit of small business led into huge business. And I guess that's why I wanted to come and see you guys, because some small things add up to big things so fast. And, sorry, you forget about how much time it takes. It's like we can build a whole building over 10-year span and then it take 1 minute to burn. So that's kind of like what I wanted to do, is come and talk to you about how awesome your lives really are and how lucky we are to have each other and what we do for a living. So my business grew huge. I married, went on a family vacation. I'll save the details on how I got hurt, but immediately laying on in the water that I could swim so well in, on my back, holding my breath, realizing, oh God, I can't even move. And then I was with someone who had to come and rescue me. And laying on my back, it was so calm. It was like a storm. And the person I was with thought I was playing, but they kind of figured out I wasn't playing when I wasn't moving. And yeah, so I told them, don't move me. And they didn't. Make a long story short, an off-duty paramedic saw everything. This is how God works. And so I was immediately in good hands. And they didn't move me. I wound up at the Shepherd Center, which is the best thing for anyone like me to go to. And we have that here at the ATL. That's amazing. This whole country, and that's the best place to go. Long story short, I had to run my business with one phone call a day and no hands or feet. And that taught me, oh my God, the value of life, but also taught me how to really make some money. because I was used to doing it with my own hands and feet. But then you have to make it work, and I did. So now, 12 years later, I have a new business. It's called the Furniture Taxi, and it's because someone bought the old one. But the new one is amazing because I have learned that we all need even small things. So little furniture items picked up from stores and delivered to huge corporations will hire me to go move their buildings. Like I moved MailChimp and Twitter into Atlanta. And they're all down on Ponce City Market, and that is huge. That's 500,000 square feet. How do you estimate that? Oh my God. And to be honest, the best thing to do is tell them, I have no idea how long it'll take me to do this. I'll be here though. You'll see me. So then that led into, well, the GSHA programs with Section 8 housing. And apartment complex will hire me to move 300 apartments in a small time frame. And so I'm gonna go back to the small things. You have to do those in small increments, because if you think too big, it just doesn't work that way. And so today I thought I would come and encourage you guys, because you have the elements that you need to succeed. You have each other, you have the goal, and you have the time. And so you guys are growing. And I noticed it, I caught on, that's why I reached out to her, and I wanted to be a part of this so that I could introduce myself with you guys once, instead of like, we meet each other and we network. Because when you network, you don't really get to know that person or that business or anything. So I wanted to take the time today to share a little story, try to touch you in a way where it's more than just business, and I guess explain to you that we all take our time for granted. And even with brushing your teeth, I had to learn with the other hand. And oh my God, that took forever. And shaving was a nightmare. Lord have mercy. But the point I'm trying to make is we could easily get caught up in our time, especially after this meeting. Because after this meeting, you're going to go into Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's. Time just flies. And I'm hoping that I can touch you in a way where maybe at some point in time, tomorrow, during Christmas, or before the New Year, I may prevent you from doing something that you will just take for granted, but then you don't realize the significance of that small little movement that you made that you were just in a hurry to do, and you may wind up in situations that are considered to be bad. But wonderful things can come out of bad things, but you have to keep your eye on the ball now. And I'm reminding you that because Thanksgiving's right next week, Christmas is 30 days later, you've got 2020 New Year. So are you the you that you said you were gonna be in 1998 or 1996? Because if not, you know you got like 45 days to become that person. You know what I'm saying? So you better get that, list out and start crossing it out. If you're gonna go to the gym, well, good luck with that. But in my life, I have seen so much change because I move people, and that's what change is. Well, I move you to a change, and you hate it until it's over. And then once it's over, it's like, oh man, I'm glad I did that. So a lot of changes coming all of our ways. I just wanted you to know that you should get prepared for it. And if you're physically going to change from one location to another, you should call me. It's called the Furniture Taxi, thefurnituretataxi.com. And we're not everywhere, we're just everywhere here. And we function like the Uber and trucks. So if you need something, press that little button, and I'll make sure it happens. So it's just one click or one call. Yes, that is, that's all. Big, small, or tall, I will haul it all.
There you go.
Okay, so thank you so much for this time. And do you guys have any questions? Well, let me tell you, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy New Year for 2020, okay? I hope to see all of you soon.
Yay.
Thank you.